started again and I lagged again. Freaking
Oh,
interwebs. Oh, welcome to Any Last Words, or welcome back to Any Last Words. If you're new here, welcome, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. My guest tonight is Mr. Adam Freeman. How are you doing tonight, darling?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am great. I'm so happy that you're on. You told me this was your first interview, and
It is my first interview, yes.
I'm so honored.
Well, thank you for having me, for real.
I was super excited to hear that, and I was like, "Oh man, that's so cool that you like asked my show or asked me to be on my show. Like that feels cool."
Again, thank you for having me. And how are you doing today?
I am great. I'm great. Um, I'm super like, oh man, I don't know. I'm still thinking about the trailers you just sent me. Like, yeah. So I'm seriously, I have that going through my mind right now, and I'm just like, oh my god, I can't wait till people see that because I think they're gonna love it. But I will back up just a little bit. Let's if you don't mind, let's get to know you a little bit. Tell us about you. What got you into to filmmaking and producing and whatnot?
So, it's actually how I got into film backs up a few years from before I ever actually knew I was going to do it. Um, I had I was working in Haiti actually, and I was in the medical field there, and they had just had the earthquake. And during that time, I met a lot of amazing people in Haiti, and I did relief work, but the medical part of it was a little bit overwhelming, especially during the earthquake. And while we were there, they were having earthquakes. So fast forward a little bit, and I come back to America, um, dealing with that and having to come back to America and having it on my mind, I needed a way to channel and release my emotions. And I tried different things. And I was working at a Starbucks, and there was an actress. Her name was Dell Dickey. She's like from Sordid Lives, and numerous other things like Iron Man, Winter's Bone. And she had talked to me, and she was just kind of like, you can take acting like right over here and right where you're at. So I went to a company and I worked with a acting coach. Her name was Joy Morris. Her husband does the Eric Morris technique in LA. And they also work, I forgot the other country that they do it in. I believe it's Austria or something. But anyway, he has worked with like amazing A-list stars, and both of them they're separated, but she teaches his style. So I was able to be trained by the best, and I didn't want to sign with the agency, so I wanted to do indie acting and do things that I really like, and that's kind of how I got into the acting field, I guess I should say.
I love that. That's an awesome story. But why would you quit such a fabulous place as Starbucks? That's like,
Oh, well, that
oh my
is
god. That is heaven
interesting.
to me.
They, um, I love Starbucks, and I feel like, I had been there for like going on 5 years, and
Okay.
I needed like a change of pace, I guess, like more income. So now what I do when I'm not acting, I'm an emergency dispatcher. For
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And it is rewarding because it's not just like any like emergency. I work with like older people for like their medical units and things like that. Um so it's really rewarding to like, hear their stories and things as well throughout the day. So
Oh, that's awesome. So either way, you're saving lives.
yeah,
Yeah.
trying trying to any way I can. So
That's awesome. No, um, from what I've seen, you do like horror genre. Is that something that you always wanted to do and to be in, or is it just something that you're just more comfortable doing right now?
oh, it is definitely something that I have always wanted to do. I was that small kid renting the video Nazis list and trying to watch as many of them as I could when I was like way too young, and spending like 4 hours in the video store trying to watch as much stuff as I could. Like every week, it was 5 movies, $5, 5 nights. I would get them on the weekend, watch them that weekend, and then rewatch them throughout the week whenever I got home from school. And yeah, so
That's
always,
awesome.
yeah.
You know what? What's your favorite horror movie?
Oh, well, I would have to say overall, if I take the genre as a whole, because there's so many subgenres, uh, I would have to go with The Love Witch. Um, it has the horror elements in it.
Mhm.
It's got that classic Hollywood feel. It's got that glamour in cinema. Um, and Samantha Robinson in it is just such a force on screen. She does a specific style of acting that is just incredible. And Anna Biller did such an uh, amazing work on that project to direct it and shoot it on 35 millimeter film, and to put it in Technicolor. I mean, I think the last film before this was Suspiria that was in Technicolor.
Mhm.
So she did an amazing job. I really think so.
Okay. I'll have to check that one out. I've seen parts of Suspiria, but I've seen all of it, but I haven't heard of that other one. You said The Love Witch?
Hmm. It's a
Huh.
2017. It's got kind of the drama in it, and the thing is for a female director.
Mhm.
I love strong women who can just go out there and do their thing and not, have someone tell them that they can't do it. Um,
Mhm.
it's inspiring, and she literally designed the outfits that they wore, the sets, all the way down to just almost everything you see in the film. It's just very organic and just very elaborately beautiful throughout. Um, so yeah,
I'll
very
have to
inspiring.
check that out. I'm gonna write that down. I have a long list that I've been trying to chomp through myself because I don't have the attention span to always sit through a movie.
Understand. Yeah.
So, but I'm trying really hard to get through these. Like, I think last week I just saw Ma for the first time,
Oh wow.
and I was so bummed that I did not watch that movie sooner because that movie is like in my top 10 now. Like, I love that movie. It's so fucking amazing. So I'm sorry, I'm gonna write on my little whiteboard over here. That's racist. No, I'm just kidding. Love Witch.
I love Witch. But I will say, like, my favorite classic horror film would have to be The Evil Dead. I think I told you my dog's name is Ash that we just got.
Yes.
Classic would have to be The Evil Dead.
Nice. Okay, so I have one more question
Uh-huh.
before we get into talking about your films.
Mhm.
If you could die in a horror movie, how would you die?
Oh, I think that I honestly, if I was going to die, I have pretty much had almost everything, and I can't give it away, obviously, but I've been pretty much killed in so many ways.
I get that answer a lot from actors. They're like, I've been killed so many ways. I don't even know how to answer that right now.
Um, I would say I would love to, and I say this because I one of the projects I worked on, it was so cool to see how they did the effects. I would love to get chainsawed and like
Ooh,
right in your gut.
ooh.
And I think that would be kind of fun, kind of like the effects, how they do it. I just think it'd be kind of cool to be killed by a chainsaw.
I like that answer. That's pretty cool. Now I'm thinking of Terrifier, which is a movie I haven't seen all the way yet. I've only seen parts,
It's
but
a great movie.
that's what I hear. I wanna get him on here eventually, but I don't want to get him on here and not have seen the film and be that asshole. So be like, yeah, I heard great things about it. You want to tell me about it? It's like you're an ass. Like,
it was definitely, I will say, for the Terrifier and the indie scene, especially, like, it has so many. I kind of look at them in a way, I guess it's prequels, because they have like the All Hallows Eve, where Art the clown makes his appearance in those, and
Mhm.
they're just as good. I love each one of them, but Art's a character. I would love to be killed by Art. I think it would be honestly creepy. There's been a few times where that's happened, like on set, where you do get nervous because you're so into it. I think that I would be absolutely terrified on you know, with Art on set.
Oh my gosh. Ah, that would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
Maybe that'll happen one day. That would be awesome.
one can dream, right?
Right? Oh, okay, sir. So let's get into Deadly Dealings, which is not quite filmed yet, right?
It's not, everything is in order. We have our shooting dates, we have our times, everything that we'll be shooting that day. We still have casting announcements coming as well for the film. And it's a very heavily inspired film, um, based on my life, but told in a horror movie kind of
Ooh,
way. Yes.
like based
Using
on true events-ish?
it's based kind of a little bit off of Haiti, like I had mentioned to you that I worked there. A little bit
Mhm.
of it's based off that, because I was there to see some voodoo and what you know the backstories of that as well in their culture. Um, and some weird things that you really just can't explain when you see it. So that's told through Deadly Dealings in a way. And it's about a movie about grief and loss, and how someone handles it, what people don't realize, and it's about reconnecting per se. So
Okay, okay. If you guys are interested, there is the link for the Facebook page in the description, no matter what platform you're watching from right now. So you guys make sure to check that out afterwards and give it a follow. Check it out. There's an Indiegogo connected to it, correct?
there is an Indiegogo that will be going live on March 30th. Um, we are allowing some like really super cheap perks. We know that COVID's happening and we know people want to be involved and be excited about things. So we have made the prices on it really low just to allow people to be able to be involved if they would like to.
Okay, awesome. We have a comment from Christopher Inlow. He says he should cast me. So I don't know if you're taking on if you're doing auditions or not, but some people are interested.
I do auditions. Sometimes I've done casting before, and that's always the most nerve-wracking part of like production for me. I feel like it's fun and it's amazing to like see, like the different unique talent that comes out. And it's just nerve-wracking because it's like, okay, who do you pick? There's so many amazing people, it's always the most nerve-wracking for me.
Right. You always want to make sure you get the right person that can relay the part the way you want it to. And so I maybe I don't know. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but maybe sometimes you don't want to hurt people's feelings either. I don't know.
True. Well,
That would be me. No.
I'm really big on this. When it does come to acting, I think that there are a lot of talented actors who are overlooked, who
Yeah,
is looking for that break and that chance. We've all been there when we first get into the industry, and everyone deserves that chance. Um,
absolutely.
and I have casted, or excuse me, I've cast people solely based on that before, and check their talent out. Um that is, to me, rewarding, because sometimes you see them go on to these other projects and they're doing more, they're getting more followers and things like that, and it's just like, to know that you can help somebody out that way, it's always a very, very awesome experience to see them grow. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because we want each other to grow. We want to
exactly.
see
Yeah,
that. It makes us feel good too. Um, so this is going to be is this going to be a full length?
it will be.
Okay.
Um, it is the way that I'm taking the project as of right now. I have over the past few months, um, I'm very detailed on things, and I love to when I watch a film um, from back, let's say, Golden Age Hollywood back in the 50s and 60s versus a film that comes out today, you notice that everything is so detailed, down to their makeup, down to the props, down to what they're wearing, their necklace, their earrings, whether it be a male or female, it's detailed. They're heavily in makeup. Um, the sets are elaborate. And I think that that's something that's really big for me. And I have tried to bring out those details in some of the things that I have been in. It started with Truly Madly. It went in a totally different direction than what we planned, but was actually very detailed and very grindhousey, which we originally did not plan for that, but we did it that way afterwards. Um, and then Reunion from Hell, the sets was just absolutely gorgeous on that film, and the shots from what I've seen is just amazing. It really
Yeah,
is.
reunion from hell. That did look like that was a lot of fun. It looked like it was a lot of fun to do.
It was, and it had its challenges, and it had it we I think, we all were a family while we were there filming, and we all lived in the house. The house was it was 3 stories plus a full-size basement, and it was I believe 150-year-old Victorian home that's in Louisville, Kentucky. And
Wow.
it, it was haunted. And the neighbors would come out and say, "Why, you all are actually going to stay here?" And there were some weird things that did happen on set
Ooh.
from the house, but that's a whole nother, that's a whole ball game to get into. But the um, the the production itself, it was a lot of talent, a lot of hard work from everyone. I was able to get cast members involved from other projects in the film, and uh, I got uh, uh, Jessa Flux. She's in Cannibal Hookers that I was in. We both were in the 2019 version. The
Mhm.
original was made in 1987. It was a Donald Farmer film, and she just nailed that role so well. And as Paige in Reunion, and I got Stephen McGill involved, um, which obviously he's very talented himself and very supportive. And um, there was, let's see, Derek Derek Worley, who did the special effects. I had worked with him on FUKT. He had worked on Zombieland too, and
Oh,
he did some of the effects in that film, um, and his work is just so realistic. It's amazing. It's
I was gonna say, no wonder, like, because there's like a graph, like you have to consent to watch that video. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, and I clicked on it and I was like, oh my God, I want to see this so bad.
He when we worked on FUKT, I will say this, when you're making a movie and it's so fun and games while you're there and everything's exciting, and then when you see the final product, because I saw our final product, our segment, I was just like overwhelmed. I mean, Dixie Gares's segment, A Human Toilet and FUKT, was just to the next level. especially in extreme horror. I was at a loss for words when I first watched it because it is very graphic. It is very, yeah. But we got him involved with Reunion from Hell, and he did an amazing job, and such a character to work with. Just one of the greatest personalities anybody could, have involved on set. He's the life of the party half the time. So, and Cody Alexander was in Reunion from Hell, and I worked with him on the remake of Savage Vengeance. And I worked with him on Truly Madly as well. He played my boyfriend in Truly Madly, and the one that yeah, we'll get into that film. But he's an excellent actor, very trained, and just a cool person to be around as well. So.
Oh, that's awesome. I miss being on set because you do get I think you always get even if you don't get along with everybody on the set, everybody's still nice to each other, but you get your little cliques, and it's your little family, and then you see each other again. You could go 6, 7, 8 months without seeing each other, and you land either in another role with them or they just so happen to be there, and you're like, oh my God, and you just re-click all over again. I love that.
I always think when I think of the cliques, I think of the Italian giallo type films, when you see Edwige Fenech and all the same people that she worked with in so many of her films. And when you watch those and you see the connection she has with some of the actors that she works with numerously, they grow that connection and they're really just able to bring so much out on set. So that's one of my favorite actresses, by the way. I love to go back and just kind of see what's the earliest films and then what's the later films, and then you watch them from who they're working with all the way up until where they're at now and how the style has changed. So I love that.
Man, and now I just want to binge watch stuff, but I have to go to bed early. I do. I always make a list, because every time I interview somebody, they always at least shoot out 3, 4, 5 different videos, and then I write them down. It's man, I want to watch all of these tonight because I want to be caught up. I want to know what everyone else knows. God.
Yeah, it's for me. I continuously watch movies almost all the time. I even where we're working from home. Even though I'm not watching TV, I just have to have the TV on in the room just so it makes me feel relaxed.
Yeah, it's a comfort background noise.
Yeah. Very much
I'm the same way. Same way. It's either got to be a movie or randomly it'll be music or something, when I'm washing dishes or making. I can't stand silence. I don't know why. I just can't stand silence. Oh my gosh. Actually, you have somebody that you mentioned in the comments, Steve McGill.
Steven is he is my boyfriend, and we live together. He is very supportive of everything, and he has a pretty interesting background with some of the things that he's worked on as jobs and stuff as well. And he is going to be a lead in Deadly Dealings, and he was a lead in Reunion from Hell as well. I think that Reunion really gave him the kind of the perspective to show him this is filmmaking. This is how it really works. And this is the sets, just getting along with everyone, and then going into Deadly Dealings, it kind of gives him that how it works and what to expect. We are going to be a little bit probably a little bit more less people than the usual set, just because of COVID and things like that. And he's taken on a lot of work for me. Him and Dixie Gares have seriously helped me out Especially with like right now. I had told you I had I lost a family member to COVID, and I was doing all of Deadly Dealings myself, and it was just so much, and I was getting it done, and he would keep my head level, and they've taken on so many projects for me involving Deadly Dealings to help bring it to life and get things flowing a little bit more smoothly during this time. So really big thank you to Stephen and Dixie for doing that for me.
Oh, that is so awesome that you have a support system like that. Not a lot of people do. You're truly blessed in that way.
I
That is
really am.
awesome.
I will say that if you would have told me where I was at um 5 years ago doing this and having this type of friendships with people, I never would have believed anybody. I would have thought that it was unreal. So yes, very big support system, and I'm very blessed and thankful for them.
Oh. And that's the fun thing about the horror community I've noticed too. It's a very unique community. A lot of people are very accepting and willing to help one another and just support each other, especially when you get in the right clique.
Yes.
So it's really
And
awesome.
and it's full, Hollywood, I feel like, is kind of lacking on some of the films lately, and I see so much creativity coming from so many people um
Yes.
in the indie scene. I know, like, recently I had gotten two films from indie filmmakers that I just absolutely loved. They've made it to my top favorite indie films. Um, and they're just really talented. And so I'm looking forward from some of their work. I'll give a shout out to them if that's okay. Uh,
Absolutely.
I'm constantly looking on Sean Donahue's page to see what's coming up, and also Nathan Rumler. I think that I just really like their work, and I was really just taken by their most recent films that I had seen. So yeah, just really excited, and can't wait for what's next.
I'm excited too. I'm definitely going to check out FUKT, which is I'm nervous now. I'm so nervous now that you said what you said after I saw. I was like, wait, it gets worse. Human toilet.
So
What?
if that's okay, that can be our next topic, because that's an interesting project, and it has all female directors.
I read that. I thought that was pretty neat.
It is written and directed by all female directors. I know I've been told the backstory on it.
Uh-huh.
Um, which I have forgotten a little bit the backstory of why the project came to light. But it was about, do women like extreme horror? Like, you know, do they like to make it? Do they like to watch it? And of course, the answer is yes. So what they've done is they wrote and directed segments. It's an anthology film. Um, and I know that they, like, the director's name is in the trailer that I showed you.
Mhm.
That's like some of the directors that's involved. Um, Dixie Gares was the director of Human Toilet, and it was an experience to work on it. I will say we were close to going. I think it was like 4.5 hours. I couldn't move on set due to the effects being done, and I was sitting there drinking iced coffee, and it's like, oh shit, I've got to pee. Like, I can't
Oh
move.
no.
So for like 4.5 hours, enduring having to, like, seriously pee, and like to have to, do a little bit of effects here, and shoot, do some more effects here, shoot a little bit, and then as you're sitting there watching the atrocity that's going down, I will say that it was a pretty nasty scene.
It yeah.
It it and Athena, I, God, I cannot think of how to say her last name, so I do apologize, Athena, but I'm going to give her a shout out. I know, like, she was tied up to the floor uh, for a while, and she was tied up for so long, she just like almost started turning a different color.
Oh
And
no, too
we're like,
long.
let's just untie you and let you have a break for a moment. And she's like, no, 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 no. She's like, I'm a trooper. I want to do this. I'm going to stay right here. And I
For
was like,
continuity.
yeah. And she did such a great job. And Dixie
Oh.
did as well. But just kind of like a little bit, I'm not going to give much about it away, nothing like that, because I'm not allowed to. Um, but it's, it's kind of like a story that I feel like every like with girlfriends, like your best friend, I feel like it happens a lot, like jealousy over someone. And that's just kind of like where I feel like that kind of like takes place.
Mhm.
And it was a great experience. And Dixie took all the COVID procedures as well, because that's really important right now to take, especially while you're on set.
Mm.
And Sarah Ramsay did such a great job also playing a lead. And she nailed it. Like, nailed that role in so many ways. She, like, legitimately just seemed so crazy, but she's like one of the sweetest people you'll ever meet. So,
Those people are fun. Oh my gosh.
and so I had originally the very first film that I ever started working on was Truly Madly. And I started shooting Savage, which led to Cannibal Hookers. Um, and Cannibal Hookers is where I met Jessa Flux, and I worked with Donald Farmer on that. And what's kind of surreal is I used to rent his movies as a kid,
Mhm. I'm still
and
here, sorry.
that's okay. I used to rent Donald's films as a kid, and I would watch Scream Dream and Savage Vengeance and Compelling Evidence, and then it's like, here I am working with him. It was very surreal. So
I can't wait to have a moment like that. Sorry, I just had to literally switch cameras because my good one just freaking died. So
I
stupid
actually
batteries.
don't see you live. Do I hit the cam button to see you live?
Um, I'm sorry, what was the question?
Do I hit the camera button to see you live?
To see me live? Can you not see me right now?
Mm-mm.
Oh no, wait. Okay, you jumped in and out. Can you see me now?
Nope.
How
But
weird. It
I
shows
can,
me on.
I can see you, but you're just like a little bit frozen. But
Uh, oh,
like, you're smiling, and it's like, a really good picture of you.
oh, well, I guess as long as you can hear me without the lag, I guess that's better. We're
It's totally
not
fine.
here for my face, so. Oh, so yes, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off on what you were
Uh,
talking about.
We both squirreled.
I love it. I love that you call it squirrels. So,
Yeah. Well, we're like Ash. We have a little. It's part German Shepherd, part Roddy, and we named him Ash from the Evil Dead. And we're trying so hard to like train him, and
mm.
every 5 seconds it's a squirrel. So that's where that kind of came from, and it's sticking.
I love it. That's good. It reminds me of the movie Up, which think is so sweet and adorable and sad, but I liked it because they were like squirrel. Oh my gosh. Okay, so sorry. Back to your films. Back to your films. Before I take us down a deeper rabbit hole. Sorry. Um, and I lost my question. Damn it. Sorry. Go ahead. With that, whatever you'd like to talk about next.
Okay. I would like, let's go to um Savage Vengeance. It's one that I haven't talked about in a while to people. Have you ever seen like the original I Spit on Your Grave?
Yes.
Okay. The original Savage Vengeance was a unofficial sequel to that, and it had Camille Keaton in it as well. Um, and when there was obviously like legal issues involved with the first film. It was shot on video. It was directed, by Donald Farmer. But it was probably like one of my favorite shot on video films. When I heard that they were doing a remake of it, I was like, oh, I'm curious to see how that, it's a completely fresh new story. It's a film of its own. Um, Camille Keaton is up to, you know, I've, I've heard to be in it, as well. I know that I had talked to her like several times about the film. But also, Jake Zelch, he did such an amazing job with the way that we did our stuff. I'll say this. I was full frontal for 4.5 hours on set in a in
What
the
was the weather
cabin.
like?
It was like, I want to say it was like around. It was around probably like summertime. We were out in Missouri, out in a country part of it, and it had like like this like old rundown cabin out in the woods, and we were in a um, community of artists. So it was not uncommon to like drive past, like, if there was like somebody out with like all these like people drawing, and there was like a nude model,
Mhm.
just outside. That's what kind of a community it was. Um,
Okay.
so it was a little nerve wracking at first, but it was probably um, the taking of your clothes off first, and then just being there on set to do the film. I had spoken with some of the actors the night prior, and I was just like, hey, we just keep our eye contact, and I'll feel comfortable. And they all respected it, and they were so nice and just so fun to work with. We laughed super hard. There was never an uncomfortable moment, not one time on that set. And Jake took such care of us, and the footage was amazing and graphic as well. Um, but Savage Vengeance is about a film that, um, two girls go through a town. In this town, they are having some bad people that's kind of like on the loose. They're into cannibalism. They are um, kind of, how do you imagine like Texas Chainsaw meets Last House on the Left kind of deal?
Oh, okay.
They are loose, and they kind of run into them, and the story happens from there. And it's going to be exciting. I don't the script, when I read it, was shocking. It was I know that there was some other people who had you know read the script, and they're like, whoa, I can't do this, and I said, it's a challenge. It's fun. Let's do this. I had no problem with it. And the people so far, I know Ronnie's done. Ronnie Jonah, she is the lead in Savage Vengeance, and she's done an incredible job. Um, and it's been filmed. It's almost there. COVID has kind of set everything back a little bit, which, I've heard that he's really getting things together to, finish that. But Tamara Glenn is also in that film from Halloween 5.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's also in that film as well. So
Nice. Now, is that a movie you think you could do again? Because I know some people do like a movie like graphic like that, and they're like, you know what, it was an experience. And then some people are like, no, and then some people are like, hell yeah, I always want to do that.
I will say this. I would do it again in a heartbeat. And One thing that I've had trouble with for the past 4 years was I was really sick for 4 years. And um, especially during the filming of Chili Madly. And this is something that happened on the set of Savage. Um, I had a liver issue. It's been fixed, but I would quit breathing and I would bloat out, like my entire body would swell so bad, almost so fast that they'd have to do reshoots. And there was sometimes I wasn't comfortable with myself. And now, um, at first I was like, I can't believe I did that. And I'm at that point now where I'm just kind of like, I would do it again in a heartbeat. Like it was so fun, and it felt like you 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 earn people's trust. Like when I told you that they had come with eye contact with me, and when they do that, it's you don't often see a lot of male nudity in film,
Right.
and it's I don't think it's really fair to say like, hey, I've talked to like some actresses, and they're just like, the way that people talk to them, they're like, hey, I want to see your tits on screen, or I want you to do this, I want you to pull down, and it's just like, okay, the way that they're explaining it to me, that the director has said it, sounds kind of bad. You need to respect them
Right.
and make them feel comfortable. I am really big on making everyone feel comfortable at all times. And with men at the same time, I think, it's 2021. Um, it's time to kind of break some of those stereotypes, I feel like. And Savage was definitely, when we went into that, I went into it saying, I'm going to do it because we need to show that men need to be portrayed this way as well, because it's always been this way for women. And, to say that it's, they only want women to do it, it's not fair necessarily to them, as well as it's not fair to men who are willing to do that as well, if that makes some sense.
Oh no, absolutely. That's pretty fair. That's a pretty fair
Yeah.
thing to say, I feel. So it's just like the movie Ma, when I watched that last week, there was like I was shocked because I mean, spoiler alerts again, guys. There was, frontal male nudity. I mean, it wasn't like long and drawn out. It was, but it was there, and it was like,
Yeah.
did you see they showed his no. What was that? So, you don't see that. So,
Yeah, it's just, it's like, if to me, it's like if you was to show a female and say this is perfectly acceptable, to me it's given, when you do it for a man, it's kind of like saying, you know, we look at those no squares as the same way. This is
I
a no
fucking
no, this
love
is a no.
you.
Yeah, it's like you kind of have to treat them equally,
Yeah.
and to respect that, and obviously, to make sure that everyone feels safe. And one of the things, I think it was my very first shoot, I did that. I had a nude scene for my very first shoot that I ever did, and I'm not gonna lie, like I took a little swig of vodka, hit like a little vape pen, if you know what I mean. And I was just like, okay, I'm ready. Went into it, and it was scary. And and I don't think, there was never anything that made me feel uncomfortable. It was just I've never done this before, you know.
Right.
Um, and I did it, and I've seen the film since, and it's in distribution, and I'm very proud of the film. It's a learning experience for a lot of people, but at the same time, people who are getting into this industry, they need to know their limits, and they need to know what they're comfortable with first, and to be comfortable with themselves first. And
Right.
a lot of indie films have the nudity, have the sex in it. You need to really be. Oh, someone brought me a screen so I can see you now. There we go.
Oh.
So you really have to be very comfortable with it. And if you aren't, protect yourself, because at the same time, you got to remember the whole world will be watching.
Yeah.
So that's,
Boundaries will get you far.
you got to know your boundaries and be safe, because there has been filmmakers out there, no names given, but they, you know, you know, they'll try to, you know, take advantage, and
Right.
you can't let that boundary be crossed. You got to protect yourself first and foremost.
Right. Because on top of that, I mean, if nobody sets boundaries and they just do whatever, then everyone else is expected to follow that too, or
Yeah,
they're gonna say, "Hey, well, if you're not gonna do it, these six over here will." So
yeah,
bye. And then you could miss out on a totally amazing artist, and
yeah,
yeah.
for sure, for sure. Um, but everything that I've done as far as like film wise, um, I think I've touched a little bit on FUKT, Reunion from Hell.
Hmm.
By the way, working with Kathy Podwell, and being able to see her do her thing behind the scenes to prepare for a scene was really rewarding. And I just want to point that out to Kathy Podwell from Night of the Demons. Very talented actress. And just to, it put me back in the mind when I was back learning from my coach. You should always take that breather before your shoot and go get in character. And she just really was just so professional. I just want to talk about that for a second. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
One day I'll have one of those moments.
Well, I mean, so much going on now, it's like, um, people say COVID has caused, I'm always seeing the posts like COVID has prevented filmmakers from making film. And in in a way it has, but I see people still working on film, and you've got to take that precaution. Obviously, keep your social distancing, wear your mask, only take it off when you need to shoot. But I don't feel like that should just make it that more craftier to get on set and to be able to pull something off and to keep everyone safe at the same time. And still, it's a challenge. Take your challenges and go with it and create. That's kind of how I feel like it should go. So don't let COVID
Absolutely.
stop things for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, I agree with that. I think it has set back a lot with people.
Yeah,
Um, and then I think for some people too, some people who never thought they would do anything, they've kind of been, oh, my job's in the way, or I just don't have time. And then they got, that time was actually allotted to them,
yeah,
and some people took advantage of it.
yeah.
So, oh,
I,
there's good and bad, I
there is.
guess.
When
So,
I recently did a film called Bigfoot Exorcist. Uh,
Bigfoot Exorcist, what?
it was okay. I was kind of, I did the film because um it was Donald Farmer who was doing it, and I had just watched his Shark Exorcist film, which surprisingly is probably one of my favorite films by him now. And it was really interesting. It's about a Bigfoot. It's about this guy gets attacked by Bigfoot and he starts turning into Bigfoot. So, you know, it's campy, it's fun, it was a whole experience. I met Rebecca Lee on set, and she was in Chainsaw Cheerleaders with Tiffany Shepis, and great movie, by the way. So it was really cool working with her and shooting those scenes. Stephen McGill was also in the film, and we had to play these like really country bumpkin type guys, and it was over the top fun.
Hold my beer.
Oh yeah,
I gotta load
and
these guns.
exactly like that. Just give it even more thicker accent. It took me a hot minute. Like I'm from East Tennessee, and I was trying to get that accent down that they wanted. So Yeah.
Oh my God, that one sounds so cool. I want to see that one. That kind of, I don't know, something like that. It starts making me think of like Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Like I would, oh, I want to see that. Is it, I'm sorry, did you say if it was out or not?
It's not out yet. They
Okay.
actually have an Indiegogo up right now, and they're currently shooting. Um,
Uh-huh.
I love the way Donald works because he will just he will just go straight to anything and just start filming and just do it. And you know, not everyone can pull that off because sometimes people try to do shot on video,
Hmm.
and it's kind of like when you're shooting, if it's either going to work or it's not. And I feel like Donald's stuff really does work. And like I said, I watched his stuff since I was a kid, and to see how he actually does the filmmaking process, he's really talented guy, super sweet and nice guy as well, and has so much knowledge about films. Um, and tell me, he was on the set of like Evil Dead 2, a John Carpenter film, and he was an extra in Day of the Dead, and was directed by George Romero. It's one of the zombies as well. Um, so he has his stories that he'll tell you. You can ask him about it. Super fun guy. Super fun guy.
Very cool. I love the excuse me. I love the Living Dead franchise, like one of my favorites.
Yes.
They got that. Have
And
you seen the Army of the Dead trailer that just came out not that long ago?
I don't think I've seen that yet.
Kind of reminds me of I Am Legend a little bit. Like,
I love zombie films, and one of the movies when I was a kid that I watched as the very first zombie movie I ever watched was the original Dawn of the Dead. I had no idea what
oh,
it was. No idea. I was under 10 years old. Um, I remember just being mortified. Like I couldn't sleep for like the longest time. And it was just so, and I feel like the newer films coming out, like Train to Busan, Peninsula, those other countries, they're doing those zombie flicks perfectly. There's a movie out on Netflix called Alive that was amazing.
called
So
Live?
yeah, Alive.
Because I'm still writing all these down on my board right here. I already have Bigfoot, Exorcist, and everything down. So,
It's Alive is um it's different. It's about like this gamer guy who's stuck in his apartment,
mhm.
and all hell breaks loose outside. It's kind of like I like to think of movies sometimes, and I can tie in a movie with each other, and then kind of like think, oh, it's the same franchise, but it's really not. That way I can, if I when a movie ends, it doesn't really have to end for me. And then I
Okay.
can just kind of like go to another movie and be like, okay, here's another continuation. But it reminds me of like Train to Busan. It has like the same type zombies. It is a foreign film, and also he's stuck in his apartment. The outbreak's happening, and some of the apartments are connected to each other, and it's like, okay, what's in the next apartment? So it was a really good movie. I really liked it.
Okay. I definitely have to check that out. I love zombie movies, and that sounds pretty cool. That sounds pretty cool because you don't know what's going to be in the next apartment.
True. Deadly Dealings does have zombie in it.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
because you said voodoo, right? So I'm
it does.
assuming.
It takes the roots kind of back to I would mix a little bit of necromancy in there. Um,
Mm,
Deadly Dealings, I'll say it has everything from possession, demons, nightmares, trippy sequences, all the way to necromancy, witchcraft, um, zombies. Um, it has so much, so many things going on that I think, when I gave the script out for people to read, and they were like, "Oh, I really love this. I really love this," and I was like, "Well, I was so appreciative that they really said it. They're like, I dig it," and I wanted to take all the elements and things I like, and zombie was one of them. And it's not necessarily the in a way it is, and in a way it's not. It kind of like comes off almost Pet Cemetery-ish in a way. Like like
Ooh.
how they're dead, but they're alive, but they're not necessarily flesh eating.
Okay.
Kind of like that for Deadly Dealings. Um, and it's not inspired by Pet Cemetery. Like I said, everything's completely inspired from something in my life. Um, but yeah, so like if you are a fan of, you know, seances gone bad, um, the occult, necromancy, all the way up to zombies and demonic possession, Deadly Dealings has a little bit of everything for someone. So
Ooh. Sounds
okay.
saucy.
The other thing is that I've done for the film, I had mentioned earlier that it's a little bit like I pay attention to detail.
Mhm.
Um, we're using a lot of kind of like these lights that you see now from in
Uh-huh.
the room.
The
Um,
pretty ones, yes, I see them. The little gel lights, huh?
I love to keep them on, especially like when I'm in this room, just because it has all my horror stuff and all my work stuff with films. I have like so many film props in here and things like that, and just kind of lights it up. But we're going to be using these lights. We're going to be using like cool pinks, purples, blues, greens throughout the film. We have galaxy lighting, strobe lighting,
Ooh.
um, water top lighting that we'll
I
be
don't know what
using.
that is.
We are using also translucent materials, very shiny fabrics. Um, I had a special spirit board made for the project. I was able to find this business online, and it was all handcrafted by somebody. And she crafted a spirit board that's holographic and
Ooh.
so beautiful. The planchette, I mean, everything is just gorgeous, gorgeous work. Currently, it's being mailed, and I'm like overly excited because it's going to be here soon. But you know, with everything that's going on with the mail right now, they're like a little bit behind, and it's killing me. Um,
Oh.
yeah, so
So this is going to be a very visual movie then, I take it.
it is, but it's also it's the way that I'm telling everyone to look at it is because it is influenced from my life. I want to take it as a canvas, and I want to paint the picture for everyone in the scene all the way through. And um, when you paint a picture, you use, you know, multiple, like beautiful standout colors sometimes, and you pull out those little details. Um, I've got specific jewelry for characters to wear that's tied into the story. Um, I told one actress, Dixie Gares, who was involved as well. I told her to um, she is playing Twyla in the film, and Twyla represents something. So she is the way she's done it is she takes the symbolic meaning of the character and she incorporates her wardrobe into the character with the symbolic meaning that actually works so well. So that's kind of what we're doing. We're going to have the full coverage makeup for all men and women um, involved. We've even got like really high dollared wigs that we're using
Ooh.
for characters as well. Um,
I love fancy hats.
we've got like the what is it called, the lace front wigs that we bought um, for the film. My character will have like super long blonde hair, and Steven, he has hair as well in it. And if you've ever seen Steven, he's bald.
I can
So,
kind of see his little picture down there.
yeah, and it's he's got a wig as well. I know that Dixie's wearing a wig. It's very put together. It's a very it's a art piece, but at the same time, it's a horror film, and it deals with a very serious topic, and it has so many elements. The materials again that we're using, um, it's just translucent. I know that I've even ordered like fiber optic hair extensions at one point.
Oh my
So
God. Why am I not? Because I wear wigs every night. Like, what? Why am I not in this? Just for the hats. So,
I I literally almost wore one of the wigs because I do have one here. Like I have the heads are around. My
yeah.
bride of Chucky over there is wearing one of them since her hair got ruined, but she's wearing one of them. But I do like to change the look up, when I'm in like one film, I never want to look the same, you know,
Yeah.
and you always want to look different. And, what better way than to put on a wig, and do different textures, change your look up, cut it, do something to it.
It's adult dress up, like when we were kids.
And with this, everyone's gonna have like a lot of the girls, like they're gonna go like you've seen like the glamour makeup tutorials.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they'll be going out like that. So and they'll have like glitter on. Also, like it's like take a mixture of blood and glitter, throw it together, and that represents deadly dealings.
Oh, like Dorothy's ruby slippers. Sorry.
I actually have like the sequins pillows. There is I've even like handcrafted so many things. Um, all the way down from like the mugs that we'll be using. Like I was like bedazzling mugs just
Oh, wow.
while watching movies, and I'm just like, and I was like, we're gonna be using this, and it's gonna like this the light's gonna hit it this way. But at the same time, like, some people it's like, I don't want to, are you gonna like go for campy? And I'm like, I'm going more for like an artistic type piece. So it's meant to be what it is. It's going to be exciting. Um, it's very crafted is the way I should say. I should just call it the craft part 3, right? Because
Why not? There's like necromancy and glitter. Oh my gosh, I'm super excited to see this. I really am. Not just because of the plot, but just because visually it sounds like it's going to be really cool.
well, I will say that Jake Zelch, who shot and directed Savage Vengeance and Krampus Carol, but I saw his Krampus Carol film and I loved it, and like The Possession of Mia Moss that he did, um, great films. He has a 4K camera that's just amazing. Like when I saw the footage that he did, and I was just like, wow. And watching him on set, this little guy will be in the dirt, wallering around, getting this angle, and I'm just like, I can't even move like that. like,
Anything for the shot. Anything for the shot.
he's very talented. He's so talented. He's been one of my favorite people to work with, and he's just such a nice, genuine guy that he's funny as well. But he's very talented at what he does. So I'm excited to see what he does for Deadly Dealings as well, because that's going to be exciting to see that type of style with my type of style and to bring it to life. So
Uh, I can't wait. Oh my gosh. Oh, and well, unfortunately, we're over time, but that's okay because I've had a great time. I thank you so much for coming on. I've had a blast with you, darling.
thank you for having me. It's been so fun. And again, like I'm excited. This is my first interview, and just thank you for having me and letting me come on.
Absolutely. I'd love to have you on again too. That would be fun. So
Anytime.
thank you. Now, you guys make sure you check out the description. The link for Deadly Dealings Facebook is on there, and the Indiegogo is going to be at the end of the month, so keep an eye out for that. And the teaser trailer for FUKT is on there, and blah, blah, blah. Reunion. I want to say of the Dead, but I know that's horribly wrong. Reunion from Hell. There
Yeah.
you go. I know it. Reunion from Hell. The trailer's on there as well. You guys go ahead and give those a watch those and give his page a follow, please. Do you have any last words for our viewers, darling?
Yes, I do. Be scared. Be very scared. There are some amazing projects coming out, and from what I've seen, it's kick-ass. So yes, be prepared to be scared.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And you gotta hit me up when Deadly Dealings gets closer, or even when you guys are like, if you just have like a concept trailer or something, send it
No,
my way. I'm glad to show it to everyone.
we are I've got the concept for a
Mhm.
teaser that we should probably shoot maybe here really soon. So
Ooh.
I want to have all my stuff here, and it's currently stuck in the mail. But as soon as it gets here, a concept trailer will drop because
I
I
want
want.
to see that damn board with that planchette. That sounded dope as fuck, dude.
It's actually the one on the poster. If you look at it, it's
Oh, really?
there's a picture. We took a picture of it, and we were able to incorporate it, the actual one in the poster. So
Oh, oh, that's so cool. I love it. I still can't wait. So send it to me. Well, if you want to,
oh,
send it
yeah,
to me, and I'd love to update everybody on it, and then have you on again if you'd like to come back on, and we'll talk about it and show some stuff on it, and
thank you
yeah.
so much. I would love to, and I'll send you some stuff as well, so you can see. I'll even send you a few things that maybe nobody else has seen yet. So
Ooh, lucky me. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you again for coming on. And tell Steven I said good night. Thank you.
thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. You guys check that out. And I will be back tomorrow night with another game because it's Thursday night. We ain't got shit else to do. Most of us are still on lockdown. So have a good night, creepy bastards. And I hope you have nightmares about me.